Welcome to the Nagual Zone. My name is Anam. Another tete-a-tete with all of you guys. Today I'd like to discuss the topic. Again, I try to bring topics that either don't occur to anyone but are of primary concern to the warrior. Or if people are even aware of them, they're not being discussed that much. So hopefully what I want to talk about today is of enough interest to you guys to want to really take that away and think about it, because chances are that almost everything you do, everything you think, and all your behavior is based on this. And what do I mean by based on what? Consider this quote, okay? Freedom from versus freedom within. So freedom from something versus freedom within it. Now, as we all know, freedom, the ability to self-determine one's course of existence, is of primary importance in the warrior's perspective. The warrior lives to attain freedom and to maintain freedom. Because make no mistake, freedom, personal power and freedom are not lotteries that you win and that's it. You can sit back and smoke your cigar by the fireplace with your hounds chewing on bones or whatever else pictures we have in our head of the eternal vacation. It's not like that. Freedom must be earned with the greatest of blood, sweat and tears, fighting battles that the average man cannot even imagine the scope of them that exist within. The warrior fights those battles and overcomes and earns their right to be free. And once that happens, the warrior quickly realizes that this is not on autopilot. This is, if I don't maintain my freedom, in fact, if I don't thrive if I don't grow my personal freedom, it's going to vanish like smoke, like my 15 minutes of fame, and then it's gone. No one knows you anymore. It's that kind of thing. So freedom from versus freedom within. I can honestly say I come in contact with a lot of aspirants, seekers, and pilgrims of any sorts. And the one common thing I see amongst every single one of them is this tendency to want to find freedom from whatever it is. So they're all running away, really. They're all running away from what is and wanting to run towards. And this is very easy to rationalize and justify, especially in the Toltec or the Carlos Castaneda followers or people who like that work. Very too easy to rationalize. Yeah, I'm in pursuit of freedom, and lots of big words and big assemblage point and entities and dreaming and stalking and lots of big words, having no clue what all that actually means, right? But all of that is because running away, trying to find freedom from whatever it is that we can't handle in actual, sober, practical living. So what is happening is that almost everyone I see and meet, I've actually not met a single person who wasn't trying to find freedom from. Very few even understand that the whole name of the game is to find freedom within that. Freedom within that. Freedom from, at some level, you're bored the average man is bored and fed up of their life. At some level, the average man is bored and fed up of their life. Drill deep down, dig deep down, and you know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. Beneath those incredible thoughts of entities and dreaming and stalking and Don Juan and the desert and the cactus and the peyote and all that, beneath all of that bollocks nonsense, let's get real. Bored and fed up. You know what it is? Simply the act of existing creates a pressure on our system. It's an incessant and unrelenting pressure. If you exist, if something exists, it is subject to that tide, that tidal force, that pressure, right? And when we start becoming self-aware, we start becoming aware of that pressure. And that is when the person must decide if the warrior's way is for them, because the warrior's way acknowledges that incessant, unrelenting pressure of living, of existing, and aims to harness it, to make use of it. That is why the Toltec system, I'm such a big fan of it. I've trained in it. I love existing in it. I love that matrix because it allows me deep empowerment, what I call full spectrum empowerment. I just made that one up. Full spectrum empowerment. Yeah, I love it. In the army, there's a term called full spectrum domination. We're gonna get into Syria and full spectrum domination, you know, the land and the air and the sea, and I'm a 5-star general in the US of A. There's nothing more abhorrent than that. Anyway, the warrior's perspective doesn't give a damn about that, all that stuff. Freedom within. You know, I always recommend Toltec apprentices, aspirants, to really study Zen very deeply, the art of Zen. Study it very deeply, go really deep into it, because that will teach you the correct way to understand what freedom actually means in real life, not as a concept, but in real life. And that is to find enough fluidity of awareness within ourselves, to become enough of a ghost and a shadow. A squirrel just down the tree outside. To be able to exist completely free and untouched within the pressure, not constantly seeking to run away from it, to exist within whatever the circumstances, your particular pressures are in life. And those pressures are common to all men. The average man simply over time allows those pressures to debilitate him or her. The warrior learns how to empower themselves instead through that same force. You know, it's like this. You know, you have a waterfall, big waterfall, so there's this constant force falling to the ground, water force, right? There's two things. You can either stand underneath it and get crushed, right, to a pulp over time, or immediately if the force is too much. Or you can build an electric generator that is constantly giving you free electricity. Same waterfall, same force, different application. Think about that. The warrior is a very clever creature. He's a very clever creature. His training allows him to take advantage of anything and everything that is available to him. So you know what the first and foremost thing that the warrior or the apprentice especially learns is how to make the best of every situation, so that you stop running away and trying to find freedom from in the name of whatever, guru, Buddhism, Toltec, tensegrity, I'm impeccable, reading loads of books. You know what I mean. I always struggle to make these videos because I've struggled to express myself and what is so clear in my head, in it, so that it comes out clearly. So yeah, and find freedom within. Find that will own, and I'll give you what does that actually mean. That means you start becoming a fanatic and obsessive compulsive about one thing and one thing alone. That is to become a master of internal silence, a wizard of the magic of your internal dialogue, subject to your intent and will, right? Learn to observe your inner world dispassionately and learn to cultivate enough of a reservoir of inner silence, inner space rather. Inner silence also can be misconstrued. People start trying to dominate their mind and go back becoming that 5-star general and make a war against their mental machinery. Again, an aberration. It's not going to work. So there's a specific system to become a warrior, and then from then on to train to become a man of knowledge. There's a specific system, and it's important to get training, guys. You can't read books and you can't read internet articles or watch videos and fancy yourself some kind of Toltec big shot. It's not going to happen. Really, it's just not going to happen. You've got to find a benefactor to work with. I'm taking on apprentices right now. And if you vibe with what I say and if you vibe with my energy, then get in touch and let's rock and roll. Let's see what you're made of. All right, guys, a pleasure to connect with you all, and hit like, subscribe, and all that. And I'm constantly uploading content, interesting, hopefully. And we shall see you soon. Walk in freedom.